So let's jump in here on decking. And the decking is actually our decking boards that are on top. They, along with my handrail, gets a tremendous amount of exposure. They usually what shows the rot first. This is usually some of our biggest problems of our deck. But it's honestly the easiest also to fix. So it's bad, yes, but not like some of the structural part of it. Not that it's not structural, because it is. But this is some of the things I want you to take a look at here. And now, this is one in painted decks. Like I said earlier, remember we talked about this before. Anytime you see somebody throwing paint on their deck, it's designed for decks, but they're trying to probably hide something. Well, what we got is, so as soon as I saw this, I started really drilling in deeper for it. But you see we got some crackage going here, but these are knot holes. And cedar, as beautiful as it is, some awesome, I just love the beauty. I love to smell it. It's cedar closets and everything. It's just so, and they're bug repellent. Not 100%. I mean, they'll eat it, but they don't. Bugs don't go there so fast on it like they would some others. But it's also a place that you're going to have water penetration, and it's going to be a place of weakness. It's not just a weakness that it's going to, for the cracking to occur, but it's also a weakness for the moisture to get into. Here's another one of my painted ones. And, you can see where this is, this one here is starting to show where the holes and stuff are, where the nails are going through. And, you see, like I say, you start seeing a painted material like this. And this type of deck painting that they're using, it actually has a texture to it. It's not a smooth coat, and they love the texture because it helps fill in any of the voids that's causing problems. All right, so look here. Remember we was talking about the treated wood. Now here's old treated wood here that was not sealed. And now a few things are happening here. I did get the right nails here, for instance. That's good, right? I mean, that's good because they're not rusted up nails. And but your material is always going to have a certain amount of shrinkage. The old wise tale is that I used to use a carpenter, we used to do it too, use a carpenter pencil between each of our decking boards. The reason that we did, and what we was always told back in the old days, that led to water and moisture and such go through. We wasn't thinking about how much our wood's naturally going to shrink. So when it shrinks, then you got an extra amount of space between it. So now you probably, instead of getting 3/8 of an inch, you could have up to a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. Now I got a safety issue. You got out there, you can stub your toes. You can also get out there, if you got high heels on, you could trip in there. I don't think high heels and decks a place to be, but hey, parties and such, people do it all the time, and that's a trip hazard. Break your neck, you fall in one of that. But what I like to do, now this is just me, but I like to take our deck boards, when I put a deck together, and I put them tight together and make them as tight as possible. It speeds my job up a little bit too, because I can get done a little quicker. But what I love about it is that when it does shrink, it never shrinks to the point of causing me any kind of safety issues in the future. Because it will shrink and it will cause trouble if you have too much of a gap. But these nails, we don't use a lot of nails as much as we used to. We still use a lot of screws. I know people are going to say, "Oh, we use screws, man, because screws, they don't back out." No, bull crap. They back out. I see it all the time. My wood's drying, for one. That's giving me some clearance. Also, the flexing of it backs them screws out. So, yes, watch this. Make sure their nails are screws. All you got to do is just take your hammer and drive them back home. But I'm going to tell you what. Wow, that cuts your feet up when you're walking across there barefooted. It is not any fun. Not to mention, if you got children, that could really be bad. Let's talk about decks on the ground. Now, this is a good one right here. This is a deck that was built on the ground. We see a lot of decks on the ground. And people do it. Most of the time, this is usually done by a handyman or do-it-yourselfers. But this material, remember we was talking about our treated material earlier? And our treated material is not designed to be ground contact because it will rot your treated material away. And of course, naturally, my joists and everything are laying right there in the dirt, right there in the mud. What causes deterioration is not just moisture, but the oxygen. So you're almost better off if the wood stayed underneath the water and are totally encased and not getting oxygen than half above, half out. But look how this thing is just totally deteriorated. It's no longer even safe. Luckily, they don't have far to fall. If that's something, I don't know if that's lucky or not. You get that breaks through and you trip and break your ankle or knee on that. But so ground contact. What I recommend, and I know some of you carpenters out there are not going to like it, but it's true. I don't care if you like it or not. It's true. Just pour a concrete patio. If it's this close to the ground, pour a concrete patio. Concrete is still cheaper than wood. And you can, and the great thing I love about it, it really doesn't need a whole lot of maintenance. It's easy to take care of. It lasts for a lot longer. And personally, if you're like me, I don't really want to spend my weekend sealing all this stuff up. I'd rather spend my weekend fishing, hunting, running around, camping, backpacking, anything but working around doing honey-do lists, So just think about that. Now, I understand if you're a handyman and you want to do it. If that's the case, we'll talk about that more in other programs because there are ways of doing that. Now, let's look at this. Here we go. Here's another one on the ground. Now, this one is not as old and it's not as bad, but literally, look how bad it is. Look how much is in the dirt right here. And now you can't really see that, but the floor joists are pretty much gone. And you can't inspect it. So if you can't see it and it's on the ground, you could pretty much expect that you probably got some moisture issues, you got some deterioration issues that you really want to attend to. Make sure you take care of that. Now, see how he's got his drain pipe here from his gutter. That's awesome. And in this case here, what he's doing, I like what he's doing. You can't see the total picture, but he's draining that water away from his deck. Instead of running that downspout straight down here and dumping that water right there and going underneath there, causing more moisture issues. At least he's done this, and that's nice, and that's a good idea. So now here we got some moisture. This is some areas that we're going to talk about a little bit about where some moisture issues occur. And you see, this is my decking boards. And when I get these boards right here where snow or ice or water can get in here, it doesn't have a chance to actually dry. And the worst part is you can't get any sealant or anything. So we talked about this on our post. You like to have a little bit of airspace. So we should have had a little bit of airspace in through here. From my decking to my rail. Why some people, they are afraid about having some of that is because they think, well, my child or somebody may get stuck in it. We have codes to that. And it's 4 inches, no more than 4 inches clearance. And I pretty much believe that's the code across the United States for that. So, because you don't want, the reason the 4 inches, we'll talk again about that on handrails. The reason we want to have the 4 inches is because we don't want the 6 or more inches because you don't want your children to be able to stick their heads in through it. I know. When I was a kid, my daddy probably would have said, hey, stick your head underneath there. You only do it once. I don't know. We'll just let that one go. You can't fix stupid. But anyway, that's that. Let's move on here. Let's move to the next one here. And look here, talk about the end grains. Remember we talked about end grains on our floor joist. This is a perf right in through here. See, there's our veins of our, literally, and it just sucks our moisture right on through here. And you can see where we're starting to get some of our sealants gone. And this is what happens. I literally picked that piece up. Look at, there's my finger. I literally just picked that right up. Well, I don't think that's real safe. I don't think I'd be wanting to be very high up in the air with a deck like that. But that's what you're looking for. Check your end caps. Let's go to this next one here. Now, here's a perfect example of somebody's done some patchwork, somebody's tried to paint it, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on here. But you can see right here, they got this, they didn't get this to where they butted the two pieces of decking together. They didn't get it tight to begin with. And what has happened is the wood has shrunk, naturally, through natural. And but it started popping. Look how many nails we got in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 or 5 nails, screws into this, trying to hold this down to the floor joist. And then they still got that debris and that nastiness in between it. Well, that just deteriorated. Literally, remember the ingrains we just talked about? That moisture is getting down in there and sucking right down in through here. And then we got our moisture issues right here. So when you see this, if you can see this on the outside, just think it's probably 10 times worse on the inside that you don't see. So that's something you're looking for. Make sure you're tight. See what we did right here. They even got a little shimmy in here. I really don't know what all they was trying to do. It just was a patch job. But it got them by long enough to try to sell it, I guess. Hey, folks, you ever have any questions? Give us a call. Galloway Building Services. We'd love to help you. And hey, if you like our videos, hit like and subscribe. Share with your friends. The more we can share with other people, the more that you can help. For one, it shows that you know what you're doing, and it helps everybody out there learn more about how to be safe and how not to get ripped off. Well, thanks, folks. Appreciate you watching our videos, and my blessings to you all.